Welcome to the Geeks Attic. This is an expanded universe book review of Star Wars: The Bacta War. Star Wars X-Wing: The Bacta War is book 4 in the X-Wing series. This was written by New York Times Bestselling Author Michael A. Stackpole. Now, this expanded universe tale takes place during the New Republic era, about 7 years after the Battle of Yavin. Now, let's get into a brief summary. In the previous novel, The Krytos Trap, each member from Rogue Squadron resigned from the New Republic military. As the New Republic turns its focus to fighting Warlord Zinj, Rogue Squadron is dead set on putting an end to Izard. Had the group stayed with the New Republic, they would have had to follow orders and forget about Izard and her reign of terror, at least for the immediate future. Now it is up to the Rogue Squadron to seek out its own weapons, ships, fuel, docking, and so much more in order to act alone. Now, while Izard's pride swells, her new right-hand man, Firi Voru, keeps her grounded, reminding her that the Empire is no longer limitless and that it has restrictions. Izard has taken control of the planet Thyphira and has the monopoly on Bacta. However, she is having a lot of trouble with distribution of the much-needed medication. And wouldn't you know, Rogue Squadron is behind this distribution issue as the feisty rebels pick off the freighters that are attempting to make these delivery runs. So begun, the Bacta Wars have. Let's get into my overall thoughts. There is no doubt that the X-Wing series is progressing. Each story pushes new bounds, and I wish I could say the same about the entertainment value. I found myself getting bored with this installment, to be honest with you. The last book felt a little bit more contained with a plot that was easy to follow. This one is all over the place. I felt this one kind of jumped around with a lot of different characters, much more than the previous novel where we were focused a little bit more on the character development of Corran Horn. So this one lacked that sort of character focus that I would prefer. I got really excited when something that I really enjoyed from the era Rise of the Empire was mentioned in this novel. The very book that actually pulled me out of a Star Wars fatigue. While the squadron sits around discussing the challenges they face, someone speaks out and says, "We can hope the Outbound Flight Project finally produces results with a host of non-human Jedi Knights coming from outside the galaxy to help us." Man, I loved that reference. So the book, if you didn't catch it there, was Outbound Flight. You haven't read it? Go read that one. In the last book, we found out that Corran Horn has some Jedi blood flowing through his veins. So, naturally, he's going to have the Force. And I accept this. That's fine. Kind of cool. But I could not stand it when Corran Horn is faced with an obstacle, and in order to get out of it, all he has to do is just think about a story that he'd once heard about a Jedi using a mind trick. So, he does this on his enemy, and though not fully successful, he did actually perform it. I would have thought that there would have to be some sort of awakening, or should I say epiphany. I got to be careful with my words. Don't want to start a canon war here. Some sort of, wake-up call, a training of some sort from Luke. Just somebody mentioning, "Oh, yeah, Luke used the Force on this once." And it's like, "Oh, yeah, well, I can do it too." Just kind of sounds silly to me. But whatever. But overall, this story was a bit of a blur and not as focused as I would have liked it to be. It's nice, though, that Michael A. Stackpole is putting a lot of culture in these books with all the different characters that we have. So do I recommend that you read Star Wars: The Bacta War? Sure. Why not? You've made it this far. You've read book 3, maybe. So you got to go ahead and read this one as well. So for the rating, I will give this story 3 out of 5 stars, or a C for the letter grade. So check me out at thegeeksaddict.com and across all social media at The Geeks Attic. Have a good one.